Welcome to Don's Manufactory. Next task is going to pull off the spring perch because I'm going to rework them. I'm just raising it up here just to make it easy to get my impact wrench under there so I don't have to strain myself. Right underneath on that there 9/16. Just that easy, just like so. Okay, the next chore is to get these stud bolts out. They are pressed in, and I just use the vise for that. A socket that's too big over the head of the bolt, just like that. See, bolts are out. Now, next problem, how to get that shaft out of this. Method of choice is propane torch. And hey, you know, when starting a cold propane torch, don't forget to choke it. I just plug off a couple of holes like this, and it lights right off and doesn't go out. Ah, made a liar out of me. Okay. Then just start cooking it. The propane torch should get the rubber hot enough to lose its elastomer properties. In fact, it should turn crystalline, and it may even burn. I don't care, one way or the other. And then I'll just dig it out with a screwdriver, and we'll be home free. And this isn't enough heat to ruin anything in the metal. Just see it starting to expand? That's because where my flame is down here, it's crystallizing inside there. See? Just like that. Now I should be able to it'll just come right out of there. Yep, see, just like that. Gotta watch this stuff, boy, it'll really take off and burn too. And I'm not really wanting it to do that, but yep, see, it just comes right out of there. But you see what I mean? It just comes right out of there. Anytime you gotta take these bushings apart, this is a really good way to do it.
I suppose I should tell you that it doesn't smell very good.
Let's see how loose it is. Yeah, it's still got some tension to it. Okay, let's get this bottom part all cooked off. There we go. Get this last chunk out of there. There we go. Yeah, it'll probably come right off of there now, huh? Yep. Don't want to touch anything because it's so freaking hot. This one's got a dent in it. Oh, darn. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to straighten that sucker out. To use a bar of steel and a hammer from the outside, I guess. Can't have that. That's going to screw up my Delrin. I'll bring you back when I'm at the next step, which will be after this stuff is cleaned up. Looking pretty good. I didn't realize that these sleeves are only welded in two spots, one right there and one right there. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to tack this in a few other places under here to stabilize it, because I'll be essentially taking away some of the support. Oh, I cleaned these up too. What has to happen here is bushings pressed in there, and then a washer, and then, you know, a good sizable snap ring groove on the outside, and have enough meat to hold that. So that's kind of my idea. I think maybe I might have to take a little more off than that. Today's update. Working on spring perches.
Okay, I'll spare you the screeching noises. It was a little squirrely on the cut, but I was taking it slow. I know it doesn't look slow, but that is what I'm doing. Now just, filing off the burrs and cleaning it up, trying to make it look good and not catch my fingers and knock a hole in them, which I ended up doing anyway. Nice face, but I did end up having to go back and take more off.
Now this should center up a little easier because I've gone to all the trouble of facing it now, so it should get fairly close. Oh yeah. We'll double check it though. So what I do is I just get my thing over here, get my dial indicator over here. I'm going to have to figure this out. I'm going to have to change the angle of things here because we got this thing swinging around. Okay, it won't be completely accurate because I have an angle here. But pretty much if I get it so it's not moving, then I'm good. Whoa! What did that hit? Oh, yeah, too close. Gotta be further out. I need to be out here, like there. And then this has to roll in. Like so. Yep, there we go. Okay, now it's like really crooked.
Yeah, I keep turning it the wrong way because it's an inside bite instead of an outside one.
Oh yeah, see it's about as accurate. It's got 2 lumps in it on the dial gauge here, so I can't get any more accurate than that. Just leave it alone. It's a good thing I'm doing Delrin bushings because they'll smush to the eccentricities.
Yeah, that they will. However, it will deform the inside, so I'll end up having to ream them, which I did. Okay, here we go. Second surface. I'm sparing you the screeching noises again.
Whoa! Oh. Okay, that's not what we like to do. There, see, now you can see me fail. Great, huh? Caught the tip and blew it right off of the... Started to chatter and just let go. Maybe I should be using carbide, but I don't think so. Oh yeah, look at that.
Ouch.
Took the tip right off my bit. Welcome to Don's Manufactory. Well, today's progress. Started on the bushings for the spring perches. Shoulders are still too thick, and of course they don't have holes in the center of them yet. But I have the shafts turned down as good as my little lathe will do. It's not bad. I decided I'd better weld these because I'm turning a lot of this shoulder off of the perch in order to get the thing to work. And that's it. Ugh.
Okay, here we go. Boring holes. Okay, so the order of sequence here is starter bit, which is a 1/4 inch, and then a really odd size out of my drill set. And why the odd size? Well, because they were the sharpest ones in there. And now I'm using a little broken long shank drill bit, 1/4 inch drill bit, that I just went ahead and put a point on it so I could use it as a boring bar. I mean, it's tool steel. It should work fine, right? Okay, so I'm getting to the sizing, and then I turned the wrong dial and just dang near ruin it at that point. So now I have to make up for that with this bushing. And you'll see in the later shots, oh yeah, that perch has a really thin shoulder on one side and then a thick one on the other. And now to compensate for another thing I discovered, and that is that the inside of this perch tube is tapered. So 0.5 degree taper on one, which turned out to be only 1/4 of a degree on the other one. But I had to compensate for that or the bushings wouldn't go in correctly. Okay, doing a much better job this time. And I'm using the compound slide to get my 1/2 degree of taper to the bushing. And here I'm setting up the concentricity, making sure that it's not out of round.
Last update for today. It's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm really tired, and I'm starting to make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I work too late, make dumb mistakes that I have to fix tomorrow. But this is what I've got done. I got the bushings made and pressed in to the spring perch, and I got the shafts turned down and polished. No snap ring grooves because I don't have the washers or the snap rings yet, so I'm not cutting the grooves until I know exactly where they go. But just perfect feel. Well, not zero tolerance. There's about 1/1000th of clearance in there, just enough for grease, and it really looks good. Feels really great too. Now I got another one to do tomorrow. Got bushings to make for the other one, and with modifications for things that I learned.
Lesson number 1, do not separate the two bushings. You'll see that I'm machining them flange to flange. Do not separate them before the outer edges or the outer portions are at the proper dimension with the proper taper. It was really hard on the first set of bushings to get all that machining done after I'd separated them. So in this case, yeah, I'm going to get them fit perfectly and do that. Make it easy on yourself, Don. You notice I got to take a X-Acto knife there. The strands come off the Delrin and just rewrap themselves around the shaft, and it's just like making a thread or something. It's wound really tight along the shank there, and then I have to cut them off. Sometimes I can grab them and sort of collect them in my hands as they're peeling off of the plastic. Okay, so here we go. I just separated it. So apparently I have finished machining them to size. Another lesson learned, go ahead and face them and then bore them, but don't cut the shoulder to size until after you've bored it. That shoulder gives it a lot of rigidity and strength when the boring tools are going through there. So in this first one, no, I didn't do that. So I have all this facing I have to do over and over and over and over again. I'm facing the entire thickness of the plastic because I haven't bored it yet. On the next one, of course, I can just face the very outer edge. Anyway, it's just stuff you learn. Okay, so here we go. There goes the odd size drill, and here goes a end mill plunge type that I use to get a 1/2 inch hole. And then the little 1/4 inch boring bar. Get it set up, get the right angle. Takes, oh man, I'm going to say 20 passes or more to get the plastic out of there. As I've said before, there are those that would say, what the heck are you doing? You can buy these for $40 now. Well, back when I thought of this idea, you couldn't buy them at all. And the prices can get up as high as $400 for a set of these things. And I saw that and just said, heck with it, I'm going to make my own. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking in the mirror, see, right there? And that is showing the dial indicator of the run out, see? And I just adjusted this here fore jaw until I have, well, no run out.
And now I know when I bore the hole, it will be concentric to the outside. That's it.
Sorry about that shot in the mirror, but I hold the camera up in front of my face. I can't see the mirror because the camera is right in front of my eyes, so I can't tell whether I'm actually getting the shot or not. And as it turns out, barely. Another thing that occurred to me is the $40 ones that have the ball bearings in them. These perches support the entire weight of the front of the car, and the idea that 6 little balls with that real small contact area has to take all that shock load and just weight just really that kind of worried me.
Hello, welcome to Don's Manufactory. Today's update. I'm back out here in the garage, and I went to the hardware store and got some fodder, namely washers and snap rings, Audis, and I will be making the washers and cutting the snap ring grooves into these today. I opted for stainless washers. I figured, well, why have them rust? Okay, time lapse from here on out. Hit it.
Okay, facing washers. You know, these are stainless washers, and stainless is an interesting material to work with. You have to run the lathe at the right speed, and you have to be taking out enough material because it work hardens almost immediately. It can work harden so fast that it'll turn as hard as the bit you're using to cut it, and then it'll just break your bit. So I kept running into where I'm boring it, and then the little crunchies would start happening, and then I'd have to like change the speed settings. I was trying to dial it in till I got it just right. I eventually, you know, by the time I'm doing the 4th washer, I've got it figured out, but hey, I'm done. Well, it's as far as I got. No grooves for the snap rings yet, but I got everything made. Got the second spring perch machined. Got the washers machined. Went to the hardware store, got snap rings so I can put it in. And everything's just sort of test fitted, but whew, perfect.
Thanks for watching. Later.
Yeah, and still no snap ring grooves because, yep, I took a chunk out of my finger.